The emphasis is on new in New Paltz. And last week I said, New Paltz! I said cops looking for evidence in Central Park look like ultimate players trying to find a Frisbee. Someone said, you mean disc golf. You don't lose discs playing ultimate, and you don't play ultimate near trees and bushes. You play in an open field. And that's a good thing for me to remember. And here's a good thing for you to remember. If you got a lot to say about ultimate Frisbee, don't. We had a joke about how the Pantone color of the year was Mocha Mousse, which made sense because this year has been a steaming hot pile of Mocha Mousse. Many of you pointed out Pantone had actually named the 2025 color of the year is Mocha Mousse. So that joke does not work. But bad news is gonna. Somebody pointed out there's no such thing as hot chocolate mousse. Maybe not at the restaurants you go to. But some of the New York eateries I frequent have some very inventive menus. Hot chocolate mousse. Nashville cold chicken. Someone should write a movie about those like crazy fancy restaurant menus. What? Who did? Ugh. It's like in theaters. We showed a picture, and I said menorah. I was told we showed a picture of a Hanukkah. A menorah has a 7-branched candelabrum, and a Hanukkah has 9 branches, and is definitely what my family has been lighting during Hanukkah. So now I got to teach my kids that it's Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the Hanukkah. Do you think the Maccabees, like obviously at the time they were so excited how long the oil lasted. That goes without saying. Would they have been less excited if they knew for the next 2,000 years they were going to have to get 8 gifts in 8 days for all of their children? Something to think about. People are asking for a new outro video on our YouTube videos. So I think it should be me and then play the pop from The Pop Goes the Weasel, cloud of smoke, and then I've got the weasel's head. Okay? I explained that the weights next to Buck were his workout gear. Somebody wrote, Buck isn't secretly jacked. That's a jib crane. Well, you caught me. Or as Buck likes to say when the camera is down, I guess the jib is up. Keebler elves sell cookies, not crackers. Whoopsie would be an example. Hey, this is fun. I feel like we've done this show long enough that people now can recognize each writer's style. And I really enjoy that their DNA is obvious to you, the viewer. Somebody wrote this about Surprise Inspection, which we did this week. Each of these writers has his own niche. Brian's is dad jokes involving food. Matt's is jokes mentioning female pop stars he hopes will notice him. A 2 for a 2. Scollins is jokes where pets and/or a really old person dies. At this point in the broadcast, my brother Josh clicked his heels and... Okay, so let me explain. That's the rim shot we wanted for the Jib Is Up. you might remember our sound effects guy is in Australia. And based on the time difference, excuse me. Yeah. Nope. I'm explaining it now. Okay. So, based on the time difference, the sound effects were happening too early because of Australia. And so what we did is we hired a new sound guy, but he works the day after our show airs. We still obviously are working it out, but I think eventually we'll get to a place where everything's synced up. So at this point in the broadcast, my brother Josh clicked his heels and... All right, so heels, H-E-E-L-S. We all know that's how you spell heels. But in the crawl for at this point in the broadcast, it was spelled H-E-A-L-S. Another rare miss by Ben Warheit, a.k.a. Kid Details. Ben was very funny at this point in the broadcast. He played Rasputin. And somebody actually, we referenced the fact that Rasputin had been poisoned. Somebody wrote in, it is actually likely that Rasputin was never poisoned. The autopsy performed by Dmitry Kosoratov didn't find any traces of poison in his body. Sure, but never trust a Russian medical examiner. You know, I mean, you could fall out like a 15-story window and they'll be like, cause of death, respiratory issues. And of course, we all know, thanks to corrections, that getting thrown out of a window is of course called taking a Prague Castle elevator. I feel confident even if I hadn't screwed that up, still wasn't gonna work. Another writer on our staff was recognized from his work this week. There's a certain DNA to a Germain piece. And one of you ventured that he wrote this week's sketch, Seth Forgives Himself, and you are correct. And then you wrote something very sweet. Jermaine, you can now forgive yourself for celebrity baby teeth, but we never will. I showed this last week, and someone said they were surprised that the network let us show it. We can show it, I just can't say it. So that's a little behind the curtain of network television. I had a bad mispronunciation last week. My German, nicht so gut. I said auf Wiedersehen. It's auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen, of course, means goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen, suck my Somebody said Mr. Hooper died before Elmo ever appeared on Sesame Street, and it's cute that you don't think those two are connected. You know why they only show the street and never the corners? Because it's a bloodbath on Sesame Street. It's like The Wire for Muppets. You couldn't have both of them at the same. Mr. Hooper was the Avon to Elmo's Barksdale. Well, somebody wrote, you said Santa would go via JetBlue, but that graphic is clearly interior of a Boeing 787. Showed Santa on a JetBlue. JetBlue only flies Airbus aircraft. Why would you do this to us, Seth? Why? Because I just don't care. I feel like I backed off my Bill Burr. Yeah. I feel like I got a good Bill Burr talking about Sesame Street. Still not Yeah, you know. This Bill Burr can't believe that the adults on Sesame Street didn't believe in Snuffleupagus. I'll buy it. Yeah, this is the line you won't cry. You talk to Muppets all day. You don't believe Big Bird that there's what is not a mammoth? Oh, seems like a stretch. What do you think, garbage can monster I've been talking to all day? Can you imagine living on Sesame Street and being capable of doubt? Oh, yeah, they're actually extinct. Last correction. Last episode of Corrections, we lost a weasel. Quite sadly. Now that weasel had, I don't know, I feel like there's a word for it. That weasel had gained entrance via deception into our group of ferrets. And we had to, I don't know, we had to find or discover the weasel successfully and by thoroughly searching. Probably a better word for that, too. And yeah, we did. We found the weasel, but the weasel is no longer with us. But thanks to my good friend, Sarah McLachlan, we have what I think is a beautiful tribute to a beautiful animal.
In the arms of...
Oh, he weaseled his way in, and then we ferreted him out. Auf Wiedersehen. See me next week.